Today we are going to be talking about a topic that really everybody is very familiar with. And I'm excited about this topic. You're going to clarify.
It's very exciting. Mary, I've been recommending a healthy Keto Zone diet now for almost 25 years.
I know.
And
You're the keto man.
Well, I've been myself following between keto or Keto Zone and healthy Mediterranean, because with Keto Zone, if you stay on it long term, it's the healthiest diet along with the Mediterranean diet that there is. And so when you're in the Keto Zone, it's the best state to be in.
What do you consider someone's weight, male and female, age or whatever, that keto would probably work the best with?
Realize that about 41.7% of Americans are obese with a BMI over 30. Yeah. But there's 30% that are overweight. So almost 75% of Americans are either overweight or obese. And that's why we're seeing so much diabetes. We have about 50% of Americans are pre-diabetic or diabetic.
Right.
So when you're obese or overweight, it leads eventually to insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, and type 2 diabetes eventually. So again, that's what's happening, and we're getting all the health disasters we're seeing with heart disease, with plaque buildup in the arteries, with high blood pressure, with type 2 diabetes, with insulin resistance, with so much heart disease, fatty liver, and other diseases that all spawn off from being overweight, obese.
So you like to see women's BMI around 28?
Ideally, less than 25 is ideal.
Okay.
Anything 25 or greater, you're overweight. You're headed toward obesity. For men, again, it needs to be less than 25. Ideally, around 22. If you want ideal, is around 22 BMI.
No matter what the age?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Would this be true for people that are early 20s and all the way up to people in their 80s?
Absolutely. My healthiest patients are the ones with a BMI right around less than 25 that are older.
And so
now, again, older people can carry a little bit more weight, but again, for ideally to prevent disease, you want to keep your BMI less than 25.
Okay. What is the one thing about keto? The one thing. I know this is hard for you because there's so many. What is the one thing you like most about the keto diet?
Well, what I find with the keto diet is it reverses, it helps patients to reverse so many diseases that I find.
It does.
It does. Now, again, you say, how does it do that? Because when you lower your sugar, carbs, and starches, and you start to burn fat as fuel. See, what the Keto Zone is it's a metabolic shift from burning sugar as your fuel to burning fat as your fuel. And it's clean fuel. But it's best to have healthy fats, because when you have healthy fats in your diet, instead of unhealthy fats like deep fried foods or like trans fats or excessive saturated fats, that invites disease into the body. But when you have clean, healthy fats like extra virgin olive oil, high polyphenol olive oil, cold pressed avocado oil, macadamia nut oil, almonds, nuts, seeds, things like this. These are good, healthy fats that do not trigger inflammation in the body. But the greatest thing I see with the keto diet is people shift from burning sugar as fuel to burning fat, and then they start to lose weight. And weight gain is the key problem that we have with causing so many. It's the main, it lights the fuel for most every disease in the body is weight gain, especially belly fat. Belly fat is especially inflammatory to the body. The more belly fat you have, you know what happens? Generally, the higher your risk of heart disease. The more belly fat raises C-reactive protein. C-reactive protein is a cytokine that constricts the arteries and leads to high blood pressure and more inflammation. Inflammation is the root cause of most every disease, and that's what belly fat does. The more belly fat, generally, the more inflammation and the more disease you're going to have.
Wow. Do you find that people who really do the keto diet, we're talking keto,
right?
I know you've written a book about Beyond Keto because you know that there's a point where you like people to shift over to Beyond Keto, but let's say for those that are just doing the keto diet, Do you find that their appetite is suppressed?
Well, we call it the Keto Zone Diet because
Right.
once you're in that keto zone, you're in the fat burning zone. It's a state of nutritional ketosis in which your body shifts from burning sugar as its primary fuel to burning fat as the primary fuel. And the fat that the body typically burns first is belly fat, the most toxic fat that's associated with inflammation.
So do you see appetite suppressed?
Yes.
If they're doing it correctly?
Yes, Mary, the keys to the keto zone, what I see is number one, appetite is suppressed. Appetite is triggered by two key appetite hormones. Number one is leptin. And leptin literally tells the brain that you're full and satisfied. But when you're insulin resistant, or if you're a female and your waist measurement is 35 or greater at your belly button or navel, or a man, if your waist measurement is 40 or greater at your navel, you're insulin resistant. And when you're insulin resistant, leptin doesn't work. So you are prone to have a runaway appetite.
Ah.
And so anyone that's insulin resistant, which is a belly fat, more belly fat, is usually leptin resistant. So leptin doesn't work. So one of your key hormones that tells your brain you're full is not working, so you're wanting to continually snack. But the good news is once you reverse the insulin resistance by getting in the keto zone, by taking some omega-3 fats, about 500 milligrams a day, by exercising and getting adequate sleep, you reverse leptin resistance and your appetite starts to shut off again. The other key hormone, appetite hormone, that needs to be controlled is ghrelin. Now, when your stomach is empty, ghrelin, like the gremlin.
It sounds like a gremlin.
It sounds like the gremlin. But the other key appetite hormone, see, when your stomach is empty, your body secretes ghrelin. Your stomach secretes ghrelin hormone, and it's the hunger hormone. It tells the brain you're hungry, so you want to eat, eat, eat. So the key to the keto zone diet is when you're eating lots of fats, you stay satiated for 8 hours or more.
Now, fat, when you say that, my mind goes, well,
Healthy
wait a
fat.
minute.
Now,
Okay.
healthy fat.
All right.
Now, again, there's unhealthy fats
All right.
like trans fats, as well as deep fried foods like French fries. Those are very unhealthy fats, as well as lots of saturated fats. These are inflammatory fats like
And
lots
that'll
of
cause
butter.
hunger.
Well, again, butter, cream, cheese, that creates inflammation in the body. And inflammation can also lead to insulin resistance, which leads to resistance of leptin resistance, which causes runaway appetite.
Well, what do you think of these people taking coffee and putting butter in their coffee?
They're creating more problems down the road. Now, the good news is when they're doing that, if they're on a real low-carb diet, it doesn't cause near the inflammation.
Ah.
So, and especially if they're taking fish oil at least 500 milligrams a day, it causes minimal inflammation. But what happens, they don't stay on the keto diet long term. They stay short term. They go back to eating carbs and sugars and starches. And when that happens, that mild inflammation goes to major inflammation.
Goes through the roof.
And so then they start developing all these inflammatory issues usually. And that's what I see in a lot of people that are on and off the keto diet.
Yeah, I've seen that. So they'll gain back the weight they
and more
lost
weight.
and more.
And that's why I like the keto zone. It's a state of nutritional ketosis. We're putting the right fuel mixture in. We're putting healthy fats. We're putting low carbs, real low carbs, green carbs, I call them, like vegetables, salads, green beans, as well as broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, okra, as well as all the salad greens.
Now, you like for people to get these ketone strips so
Yes.
they can check their
urine. Right.
And that's how they know they were actually burning.
There are 3 ways to check it. There's urine strips are the easiest. There's the new keto meters that checks the blood for ketones. That's actually the most accurate to do long term.
What do you mean meters?
There's a keto meter that you can get like you check your blood sugar. You can also check your ketones in your blood.
I didn't know that.
So that's the most accurate. And then there's the breath analyzers that measure acetone or ketones in the breath. So there's 3 different ways to do it. The simplest, just check the urine.
Yeah.
Now, after a month or 2, most people know if they're in the keto zone or not.
And
because
if you're insulin resistant, it's going to take longer for that to show up, isn't it?
If you're insulin resistant, it typically takes about 2 to 4 weeks to get in the keto zone.
See, and
So
I think this is important, because then people do it for a week and they still don't see it and they get discouraged.
Well, that's why we have what we call Keto Zone supplements that keep them in the keto zone, like our MCT oil powder. And a lot of patients, now again, you got to be careful with MCT oil powder, usually a scoop a day. It only has 7 grams of saturated fat, and most people have to limit their, when you're in the keto zone, you want to limit your saturated fats to 10% of your total calories. And this is what separates the keto zone from all these other keto diets. They give you as many saturated fats as you want. So you go to your doctor, and the doctors put you on statin meds because your cholesterol's through the ceiling. They come back and say your cholesterol 300. Let's put you on a statin drug.
Yeah, right.
But when you limit your saturated fats to only 10% to 10% or less, best less, of your total calories, which if a woman is eating 2,000 calories a day, that would be approximately 16 grams of saturated fats a day is max. That's max.
That's it.
Now, our keto MCT oil powder only has 7 grams of saturated fats, and it has 3 grams of fiber. So again, fiber helps lower cholesterol, but 7 grams is fine. So a scoop a day is fine for most people because you need some saturated fats in your body. But if you have high cholesterol, they recommend it you decrease your saturated fats to only 7.5% of your total calories or less. So again, some people, if they have high cholesterol, they may have to limit their, MCT oil powder to 1 scoop a day. Others can have 2 scoops a day, no problem.
When you first developed this product and you brought it to me.
This is almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I put it in my coffee. I just remember sitting there looking at you going, Don, you have done it. You have done it. This is the bomb right here.
I love the chocolate MCT oil powder.
We have several flavors, hazelnut, the mocha. You can make a mocha with Dutch chocolate in and takes your coffee and makes it mocha. But what's amazing is you're putting yourself in the keto zone with this.
And it stirs up real easy. We have that little coffee frother, we just put it in there.
We have French vanilla. Great. My favorite is the coconut.
Coconut cream?
I love the coconut cream.
My favorite's the chocolate.
Yep, isn't that funny?
Yeah, it's great.
What a flip.
But it makes any coffee taste amazing.
It
but
does.
Again, with this, and a lot of my patients, they say, well, can I have it all day long? Well, again, I start my morning with keto coffee. Now, I don't drink excessive keto coffee because too much coffee can raise your homocysteine level, which affects your brain.
Right.
So I try and limit my coffee to 1 or 2 cups a day.
That's good. Me too.
And then, I just have usually a teaspoon or a scoop of the MCT oil powder in my coffee. And that's plenty for me.
Now, doing this in moderation will keep you from going into high cholesterol.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
That's what's important.
And this actually helps to raise the HDL, or the good cholesterol.
It does.
Right. But again, if you're doing this and you're doing also butter and cheese and cream and excessive saturated fats, your cholesterol is going to go up. So again, I have to emphasize, 1 scoop a day is just 7 grams of saturated fats. That's less than 10% of the total. It's less than 5%, and you need usually at least 5% of your total calories of saturated fats to maintain the health of your cells.
Now, I want to address a myth. There is a really big myth about keto, and that is you can eat whatever you want as long as it's keto. And, and I remember back when you first started with this program, because you really have become known as the keto doctor, you introduced keto to the masses. You really did.
Years ago.
And so people have really identified him as the keto doctor. He took it and ran with it. And so since he introduced it in a massive way, there's all kinds of keto that has followed since then.
But I would say, Mary, 95% of keto diets are unhealthy. That's why I want to show what separates them.
That's why we're doing it.
Good.
That's exactly the reason we're covering this show, because there is so much confusion out there, and we want to take away some of the confusion. So I remember when you first introduced it to me, my life story is, to everything there is a season. And I come in and out of season. I go into the season where I am obsessed with my weight, and then I go into a season that I don't really care.
She has like 3 wardrobes. Small Mary, medium Mary, large Mary.
It kind of depends upon what's going on in my life and how chaotic and crazy it is.